For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Chris Richardson Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, a huge win for you guys on Saturday. Completes the split of last week over Fairmont State and Frostburg. Talk about that game kind of and what it was like for you guys.
Yeah, I think we've been playing really good basketball the last couple of weeks, especially on the offensive end. We haven't been real consistent on the defensive end, and Saturday I thought was probably our most consistent performance playing complementary basketball, as we've talked about before, our most consistent performance, in quite a while. So held them to 41%, and they got a lot of firepower. They got some really talented players that can score in a lot of different ways, and Coach Brown puts them in good position to do that. And so we're able to withstand their early success, and then we made a big run to close the first half, and they made a run in the second half, and we kind of made the last run of the game. So just a complete team effort, and happy to see us play 40 minutes, and most importantly, send our seniors out of the McDonough Center with a win.
And you mentioned that complete team effort. You had 6 guys score over 10 points in that game. Talk about how they were able to pass the ball around and be so effective.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest difference in our team from early in the year till now is, we are sharing the ball much, much better. And it's not that we were playing selfish or anything early in the year. It's just we're getting used to playing together. We got a different team than we've had the last few years, and so. What that leads to is better shots, better quality shots, and our shot quality has grown, in a good direction throughout the year. So shared the ball well, 6 in double figures, and then Will Gabbard had 8. That's a pretty solid effort across the board, and we needed that because we battled some foul trouble in the first half, and guys stepped into bigger roles and were able to make good plays.
And as you mentioned before that game, you honor your senior class. Brent Price, John Cordy, and George Taylor get to walk. Talk about that class as a whole and kind of what they've meant to this program.
Yeah, all 4 of them. Dozie chose not to walk. He walked last year, but he's rock solid. Dozie and Yosiobi, committed here under Coach Sankum and played for Coach Peckinpah, played for Coach Ryan. He's played for us the last few years, and just his loyalty and just being steady every day, bringing great energy every day. He's an awesome teammate. You see him all the time, bringing younger guys into the gym for extra shots, bringing them in the weight room for extra weightlifting. That's for a guy that doesn't play a lot of minutes for us, he has a major impact. George Taylor, one of the first kids that believed in what we were doing here and decided to transfer here before my first season. And went through some ups and downs with the COVID year, as we all did, and has just stuck it out and earned a lot of playing time as a senior. And then night before the Westlake game goes down with an ankle injury that we thought might be it for him for the year, and it ended up not being as bad as we originally feared. And he's attacked rehab just like he attacked the off season and every weightlifting session and all that. He's just a worker, and he's a great kid and very mature and a big presence in our locker room. And then John Cordy, another guy that's played for a couple different coaches here, and as we've said before, man, he played out of position his first few years and did that because that's what the team needed. And I promised him last offseason, hey, you're not going to be our biggest guy next year. I promise that. And so he's really, really transformed his game, did a great job with his body. And his biggest impact here, really all these guys, is just their leadership. He's been a phenomenal leader for our guys, builds the younger guys up, and you see him all the time with our freshmen, and so he's been fun to coach, and he's a guy you love having on your team. And then Brent Price, man, the first kid that committed to us, hometown hero here in Wheeling, and another guy that's been battling injuries, but just puts that work in, is a great teammate, and it was great to have him back out there given what he's been through injury-wise the past few weeks. So Noah got long-winded, but I could talk about those guys all day. They're family for life, and they're Cardinals for life too, and we appreciate all they've given us.
And having such a strong group of seniors like you have this year, how has that helped this more younger team in their progression and their growth throughout the year?
Yeah, I've told each of those seniors, the real impact you're going to have here may not be this year. It may be when those guys become the leaders and they become leaders in the mold of how you guys led because of the example you set. And so, when you have a limited time in a program as a college student athlete, your impact sometimes isn't felt until later, after you leave. And I told those guys, we're in the process of building something here that we're really excited about, and we think it's going to be really special. And we've seen glimpses of that throughout this year. But I want them to have just as much pride in what happens here in the future as what they have, as to what happens in the present. I think they understand that. They've been a major part of that. And so, when we do start, continuing to build and get to where we want to be, where this program deserves to be, they're going to have as much to do with it as the guys that are out there on the floor at those times because of their leadership.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's basketball coach Chris Richardson. And Chris, you're heading into this final week of the regular season. Big playoff hopes on the line, AB and West Lib. Talk about how you guys are kind of approaching this week.
Yeah, right now it's February, but it's March. These are March-type games. Saturday was a March-type game. Down at Fairmont last Wednesday that felt like a March game. It was a great atmosphere. And so we'll be heading into AB on Wednesday night. We got to keep playing well, and we got to try to get as many wins as we possibly can heading into this tournament. And we've talked about it from day one, Zach. Like, when do you want to be playing your best ball? January and February, going into March. And so here we are. It's February. We're almost to March. We got to continue to put together good possessions on both ends. Got to continue to share the ball and get great shots, and then on the other end keep them from doing the same. So, it's a big week for us. It's not even about who we're playing; it's about how we are playing. So, looking forward to a great night of practice tonight and tomorrow night, and then heading into AB on Wednesday. See what we can put together on the road this week.
And looking at that Alderson-Broadus matchup, a close contest here in the Alma Grace McDonough Center last time out. What did you learn from that first matchup that's going to kind of transition to the road this time?
That was a game that like so many that we've had throughout the year that, we got up big, and then that game we really kind of relaxed and did not play in the second half with the same energy and the same urgency. And it was a rough night. It was right before Thanksgiving. And that was something that this team had to go through. And so watching that game again yesterday at my house, it's amazing how far we've come from November till now late February. And so, it's a tough place to play, and they're playing a lot better than they played that night too. As a team, they're playing much better. So should be a good game, but I don't know how much you really take from that first game because it was so long ago and both teams are so different.
And finally, talk about the message you're giving your guys this week as they enter the final regular season, trying to clinch a playoff spot. What's your message right now?
Keep working. It's been the message from day one. Keep working. Keep stacking good days, and try to minimize the things that don't pertain to winning. Let's really get into practice and focus. And it's gonna be a crazy week for us because, as you know, Zach, we're having a baby tomorrow, my wife and I. So my wife's having the baby. I'll just be there to cheer her on. So. It's a week where we've got to really focus on getting done what we can get done in the time we have to do it. And like I said, 2 games on the road, you got to be a little bit better on the road than you are at home. So, very important week and an exciting week in a number of ways. But know our team will be ready to attack it starting tonight at practice.
Thanks, Chris. Congratulations on the baby coming, and good luck the rest of this week.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Zach. Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.